It's not just a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. It's the longest, most hardest, roundabout fucking way to the top if you want to rock and roll. And even at this point, it's like, fuck, it's a long way, but we'll get there, you know. We'll keep going. That's all we know how to do. I found out recently I have ADHD, so that would explain my erratic behaviour when I was a kid. I listened to AC/DC all the way through school. I didn't pay attention to the teachers at all, I just couldn't. I was made to face the wall a lot in class because I would either throw things or swing on my chair or just be doing something that would upset everybody. Land Rhythm Section had a song called Boogie, and that song got me into rock and roll. Then there was a channel in Australia, a music video channel called Rage, and that's where I saw AC/DC doing Thunderstruck. Those two things were pretty much, oh, I love rock and roll, and I just focused on that. I think my decision was made when I was around 6 years old. When I first saw Thunderstruck and when I first heard the Land Rhythm Section, I just knew that was all I wanted to do. My whole life became that. I wasn't a kid with posters on the wall. I didn't do any of that sort of stuff. I wasn't really fan worshipping things. I was obsessed with it, and so was Ryan, in a way that we would go to the school library. So at school, we just ignored everybody. We ignored everything we were doing in class. We ignored. Never did my homework. It was just I couldn't be bothered, or I was playing my guitar. And we brought our instruments to school. So instead of kicking the footy around at lunchtime or just sitting around at lunchtime, just doing nothing in the quadrangle, we went into an art room and just played all afternoon. And we just became obsessed. My first guitar, Dad said, for my first electric guitar, he said, if you paint, all summer I had to recoat the wood on the back room of the house, and there was a cabin. So I had to coat the wood because we lived by the sea in Warrnambool. So I painted the whole cabin in the back room, and Dad said, look, I'll buy you an electric guitar if you do this. I finished it, and he said, it's 2 coats. So I had to go back and redo it all again. But then eventually I got my first electric guitar, Gibson SG, and that was it. I just wanted to have a guitar. I had an acoustic, but you know, just from listening to the music I was listening to and watching the videos, I knew an acoustic wasn't the end game, that there was this other thing called an electric guitar, and fuck, it looked fun. And then as soon as I plugged it in, I think I just played an A chord, just listening to it for at least a month, just hitting an A chord, going, fuck, this is powerful. We saw Midnight Oil playing on the back of a truck doing this to the Exxon building, and that gave us like, oh, I see Aussies can go overseas and fucking stick it up, people. This is going to be fun. This is what we're doing at school, you know, and this is what we're doing with our neighbours who kept calling the police on us when we were at home because we were playing really loud, like we were setting up Marshall stacks, you know, in the house. And in Warrnambool, like you could hear it, the whole town could hear this. Having the police come around and having the law coming against us, having an Irish background that is a pretty colourful history. There's quite a few rebels in the past. There's a DNA that's in our system that is a gypsy blood. There's a rebel blood in our veins. And every time we would be playing and someone would be like, you can't do this, and we played a battle of bands. I got on a table, I did a solo, fell through the table, it smashed in half. The guy that ran the event took us out the back and said, "How dare you do this to the event?" How did he like pushes up against the wall, and Ryan and I were only kids. This was a fucking grown man, and at that point, we didn't even like look at each other. We just fucking went the guy, and just, it was like pit bulls, and it was, this is what we're fighting for, and it became this thing, a saying that we had, stand up for rock and roll, and that was like the first song we ever like wrote.